it's a whole rabbit hole, and it's been done to death at this point. But it's like if I see an AI cover, I'm just like not gonna listen to it because it's like it's lazy, and it almost, I mean, it is personal, but it's at the same time like nothing personal. It's just the fact that like I don't want to see that shit. So like if I am like seeing new music showing up either on social media or if I'm at a store or something and I see an AI cover, it's just like okay, like just keep moving. I don't want to look at it. So unfortunately that hinders that band's opportunity for more people to find them because I know there's a lot of like-minded people out there. But conversely, you see something really cool, and I guess album art has just always been there from day one. Easily you can point to some of the classics, and it doesn't have to be illustration. I love photography and stuff too. I mean, anybody can point to the debut like Black Sabbath album cover and be like, it's just so ominous and iconic about that um, image that you kind of have to investigate. And sometimes stuff is more, complicated, but sometimes it just really takes a simpler approach like that. And of course, like Vince Locke for Cannibal Corpse, when you're a teenager, it's like there's nothing cooler than that. So when I was in high school or middle school, probably listening to Cannibal Corpse, I was like, well, this is it. There's nothing cooler than uh what he does, a bunch of zombies butchering up a bunch of babies and stuff.
Oh yeah, that is the cover that like really got me to death metal
Yeah.
because like I loved a lot of thrash shit, and it was a lot of album covers for me, like Ed Repka, fucking
Yeah, yeah.
amazing, man. And then seeing that shit where it's like butchered at birth, and it's like, what the fuck is this, man?
Yeah.
And then you listen to it, and then it ruined my life. But I love death metal, and a lot of that art really got me into it. And it's like people don't really realize how important album art is when it comes to a band. And what's the real tragedy with AI is I feel like a lot of artists, you listen to the band, you kind of get an idea, and you make sure the music kind of represents the art. Where AI, it's of all these different artists, and it's kind of just doesn't really
Yeah.
represent the art at all, which
Yeah.
is for me the biggest issue with it. Um,
Right. Right. And I think sometimes people miscount the ideas that artists bring to the table too. They think, well, we have this idea, we can put it into a program and we can make it happen. And that's great, but I think the other important thing is like the artist's perspective is a big part of it as well. So while someone may have a crystal clear idea that they're bringing to the table, not to toot my own horn, but like just to speak for myself and a lot of other artists, we do have ideas that maybe people who aren't as visually inclined, and it's no shade or anything like that. To them, it's just that, they kind of we're experts in our own respective fields, and when you respect that, when I respect musicians being the experts at what they're at, and when they respect me being an expert at what I'm an expert at, that's when something truly great happens. So it's a little bit of that. You need that. I think bands and artists both need that willingness to let go and trust each other. And that's when the best stuff happens. And unfortunately, when it's one-sided like that and like prompting and stuff like that, or you're paying someone to do AI, which is the real tragedy because
yes.
you just got terribly ripped off. Um, but
Crazy.
yeah, no, I think there needs to be that conversation, there needs to be, it's very much a relationship, I've made friends with so many bands I've worked with at this point who I just chat with on a regular basis, and I think, and while that doesn't always happen, um I think you find a lot of like-minded people, but also people who have different perspectives. And that's a good thing that, you're both bringing different perspectives to the table. And I think, once again, that's where the magic happens.